Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. We're starting off here with the black pieces against a 1767 from France. They have played d4 and our new opening against d4 is in fact going to be d5. And we're hoping for a c4 here. There we go. And now we are going straight into the Albin counter gambit. Amazing. So, I'm not even having a chance to talk here. So they've taken straight away, and what we do is push d4 here. Cool. So, I hope you all had an amazing Christmas. Spend it with your family, with your friends, eating lots of food, I hope, whatever you did. I hope you had an amazing time doing it, and had great fun with that. I've not got the hat on anymore, and you can see my hair is absolutely overdue for a haircut. It's crazy. So apologies if you can't actually see my eyes through my fringe, but it's what we're going with. And now we're back straight to grinding, trying to get to 2200. So back to the regular uploads, regular daily uploads, doing the 15 plus 10. So yeah, so knight f3 here is the usual move, I believe. And I believe we got knight to c6 here. Our basic plan is we're going to try win this. Yeah, so g3 is completely fine. In fact, it's called the fianchetto variation. Apparently a thing. So yeah, and our plan here is to go there and win that pawn. Now this is what I play based on the recommendation from my coaching session. Rather than going for a King's Indian, this is going to be the new norm. So yeah, let's go ahead with knight to e7, and they're going to go there, and we're going to go there. And the tricky thing we need to remember is which one do we take? Which knight do we take the pawn with? And they're just going to castle and try to give us back this pawn. But I think we might actually go queen to e7 here. Not quite sure, to be honest. Not quite sure. I think we probably take back with this one. Yes, because then the queen after knight takes. Oh, sorry. After knight takes, the queen is still covering this pawn. So we'll go ahead and take that. And hopefully we are in some theory or something. We're also threatening to take this after the fact, which is great. And I'm not quite sure what to do after b3. Oh, okay. So they're going for that. So what they want to do is go get this knight back onto f3 and cover that. So then we can't actually take that, or whatever we do takes, and then there, and try to hit it that way. Yeah, what's the plan here? What's the big idea? Can we go to a bishop e6 and just hit this pawn again? We could do, and then we're threatening directly to take that. And after the knight comes, we can just take back. However, this pawn's weak at that point. We could try to cover the pawn again. Is an idea. And just hold there. Or we could push maybe a d3. Which is interesting to say the least. Yeah. I feel like a bishop b4 wouldn't go amiss either, but the problem with that is we're getting kicked around a lot, because these pawns are devastating. They're very quick with the c4 push, so we would want to trade off the bishop for the knight, but the knight is coming back to there, so we won't really get the chance. We could go bishop g4 and try get both the knights off and take this pawn. But then we are also losing that. But we get the rook out then. So maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not that bad. I also want a castle, so maybe... the thing is, no matter where this bishop goes, it's getting kicked about. So it can only go to e7 without getting kicked about, because if we go to d6 still, it's getting kicked about after those 3 moves, whatever. Same sort of moves that kick it about, basically. I think the queen might want to go to d7, to be fair. But I don't think that does anything at the moment. I don't dislike bishop g4. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't dislike it. I quite like the rook activity here. Maybe we go for that. And then after that, we are also threatening to push d3 because that pawn will be pinned. That's quite nice, to be fair. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. I think it looks active. It looks like it's making some loose threat. So I don't see why not. We need to get castled though, because the problem is we can't take this without the queen check coming in. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe go back there. The problem is that's being taken with a check though. We could take. No, we could take. Actually, because if knight takes, we're winning that pawn back. Not even back, we're winning a pawn. And if bishop takes, then that's surely fine for us. We go down the bishop pair. We could push this and go knight there. That looks pretty scary. We could attack this pawn. Maybe that's fine. What do we say? Go knight takes? Oh, bishop takes. Bishop takes. Bishop takes, I think we said. After knight takes, we can take that pawn. There's no queen check either. Perfect. 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 Yep. So we're up a pawn at the minute, which is great. Great news. Now what do we do here? There's a question we have to ask. We're up the pawn. Where can we go? Not there. Not there, not... Oh, gosh. There, or there. We can't go there. In fact, we could go there, but we lose the pawn at the end of it. Which may or may not be bad, but with that push, that's nicer to take because I'm not threatening anything. Can't go there because then we're blocking off our queen from covering that. So probably like a there. There, probably not. We've got no intermezzo moves, I don't believe. Yeah, let's go back to b6. Let's go back to b6. Okay. I believe we could go bishop there and just cover that one more time. Bosh. Yeah, then maybe looking at that, and then maybe we play an A. Ooh, that's a bit annoying. Oh, I didn't see that. We played that a bit fast. Eee. I think we got to give back up this pawn, you know. Yeah, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. We just give him back the pawn, I think. Yeah, I don't know what else to do there really though. Unless you'd go all the way back there. And try cover it like that, but that's, yeah. Could go there. Go twice. Nah. That's That's annoying. Oh, we could go there and try get a bishop there. Oh, I can't draw there. But then they are just winning back the pawn either way. Let's go bishop back. I think we have to, unfortunately, give back the pawn. Give back the pawn. That was a bit rushed. Oops. What can you do? What can you do? Yeah, knight takes. I think we go knight takes then. Bishop can't go there. And then we play like a c6 push and just cover that. We're fine with bishop takes there. We're trading off queens. Or we could just castle. They go there. That's fine. Let's just move the rook out the way, I guess. Maybe they want to go bishop there. No, they can't because bishop's under attack. Let's pre-move queen takes. And this is looking a bit dodgy. I'm not going to lie. This is looking a bit dodgy. We need to trade off queens desperately. I think we get to do that, which is good. Get the knight in the center, really strong. However, they can win a pawn that way. So let's get the rook in the center then. Bosh. Yeah. Then we'll take with. The problem is that check's really scary, but luckily they don't have that there. We'll take with the bishop. We need to get rid of one of these bishops because this bishop there is going to kill us. Maybe we go for some sort of f4h pawn push, but I don't think that works particularly well. Let's. Yeah, we can't go there because of the pawn push. We'll have to go back, I think. This is really unfortunate. This is really, really unfortunate. It's going to take some work to get a draw out of this, I think. It's going to take a fair bit of work. Let's drop the knight back and maybe look for a bishop there and try to trade off one of the bishops. Yes. Yeah. And then, yeah. I don't see what that's doing. I think they've just wasted a move doing that. Try. Ooh, maybe we could. Yeah, we want to trade off the. Ideally, we get the knight for the dark squared bishop, but I don't think that's ever happening. I think they have way too much control. And that's not throwing anything because the bishop covers, and then it would be a pin anyway. On the king. I don't see what that was doing. If we go there, yeah, bishop there, pawn push anyway, so we're good. We're also threatening knight there. Then maybe like that. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for that. I think that's. Oh, they're taking it. Okay. So now we need to stick everything on dark squares because they have a light square bishop, and that's what you want to do if you're in a bishop versus knight endgame. You want to put, if you're playing for a draw, you want to put your pawns on the opposite coloured square to their bishop. And if you're, yeah, basically any time really, there's no reason not to do it. I think the only reason you would want to put it on The same square is if you're really pushing for a win, so that they can't defend their own pawns, basically. If you put yours on light squares, they have to put theirs on dark squares. So then they can't defend their own pawns. And that's the only reason why you would want to put yours on the same coloured square. And we can keep doing that. And now we can get our king into the game, which is what we need. We can get the rooks. Rooks maybe traded off. Do we want to trade off rooks? I think probably so. And we just go for a straight bishop versus knight endgame. And they've got so much time. It's so off-putting when your opponent's just not using their time properly. You know, it's just, ugh. What can you do though? What can you do? And we're looking for an f6 push, I believe. Because that's going to isolate this pawn. And then we take with the knight and trade off. And hopefully this is a bit more drawn. We want to try and get a knight back. And we want to, because we can have a pawn advantage here, so that's fine. So we want to keep our king on this side of the board. Ideally. However, you know, often harder in practice than it looks. And we'll go pawn there just to stop any G pushes. And we just want to stick to the dark squares as well. Basically, they don't have anything on the dark squares, and we want to keep it that way. We'll drop the knight back, I think, and then we can go maybe like that and with a check there. Or maybe we drop the knight back there just to cover that more and then get the king in. Yeah, maybe that's the better way to play it. We just can't really allow their king into here. And then we need to get this knight here, and that will cover that quite nicely. They're keeping their king there. We really don't want to allow that push, so we're running out of tempos, to be honest. We could actually go for an a5 push, potentially. That's very risky, though. And not with the knight on this side of the board. I think we've got to let them get the connected passes, unfortunately. We are running out of tempos. I don't think a h5 push is going to work particularly well. Oh, that's a yikes. Yeah, these are so annoying. That's a yikes. Yeah, we've got to do that. Yeah. And we are going on which coloured squares? Light squares. We're going on a light square here because they've got no check there, and if they push, we're straight back onto the dark squares. The good thing is their bishop's sort of forced out. So we can actually take that, and that's perfectly fine. And then we're going to go to a5. Ooh, this isn't looking good. This isn't looking good. Yeah, and the problem now is our knight's blocked in as well. So we're going to have to go with a king move. And then go like a knight there. And it's not looking good at all. This should be an easy win for them. Unfortunately. Yep. We can go The problem with that is that they've got to check there. And our king's a bit too far away. If we go there, they can't actually get there. So maybe we go like that. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think it's lost either way, unfortunately. That's a weird one. And now our king's a bit boxed out, so we're going to have to make the long way around. I think we have probably lost this, unfortunately. That is a weird one as well. Yeah, I think we've lost this. The good news is we have a few tricky checks, but again, nothing particularly matters. There's not much we can do. Apart from maybe try sack the knight for both the pawns, but that's just not going to happen. Which is brilliant. They need to go that side, because if they go this side, we're getting a few forks off, and we might be able to survive, although I seriously doubt it. And they've pushed that, which is probably the right thing to do. And I'd misclicked that anyway, so it's well and truly over. Right now, we'll try our best to get some counterplay, but again, nothing much can happen. We'll take that, sure. We'll take that as well. And we'll just try stalemate. But yeah, it's looking a bit rough. And we'll let them mate us. We'll let them mate us. Yeah. Apologies if you can hear my laptop. It seems to be going like a helicopter, being very, very loud. And there's not much I can do about that. It's a pretty, I think it's a pretty old laptop by now. But it's the best I've got, and it makes videos, so can't be that bad. Yeah, this should be pre-movable even. And they've gained a lot of time. Come on. You got it. Anywhere. Literally any move. There you go. Cool. Let's do a quick analysis of that. My theory that I've got, my study is actually on Lichess for the opening. So we can't actually check that. I have an 82.4. They have an 89.8 with a 2050 for me and a 2030 for them. So d5 up to this point we are well aware. After castles I'm a little less sure, but apparently knight takes is fine. And the bishop there was a blunder apparently. I don't see why that's a blunder, but it wants bishop to e7, which I might recognise actually. Maybe it was because I think I said queen to e7. Maybe bishop to e7 is what I wrote down in the study. And I just got them confused. Because that seems a lot more viable. Because you're defending this and x-raying this pawn as well. If I can draw an arrow. But yeah, I want to see how this is a blunder. Please. Knight takes. Takes. There. And you're just down a pawn. Okay. fair enough. I mean, we sort of saw that. But I didn't think that was that bad. Usually you can sort of give up the B pawn if you're castling kingside and get some counterplay on the file, but apparently not in this scenario. It wanted takes there. And if you guys can't see that blunder, it's gone from 0.3 to 1.7, so it's a pretty significant one. It didn't like H3, and it wanted knight takes there actually, which is interesting. Knight takes, bishop takes. Looks okay. I don't really know the difference. And it didn't want us to take that pawn. And it wanted knight back to E5, which I'm guessing just goes into the same thing. Oops. Best move, show moves. No. Best move, show moves. There we go. Knight takes, and it looks like exactly the same thing. Bishop there, yeah, pretty obvious move. Oh, and it actually liked bishop there. That's interesting. Oh, and it wanted queen to d6 to cover that, and then you can't even push that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What's best move? But it's still 2.1, which is crazy. And it liked c6, which is cool. Give up that pawn. Trade off. And this is all pretty good stuff. It wanted bishop to c5, going after this pawn, I guess. But that just sort of provokes some pushing, which I didn't. Yeah, that's all good. All fine. It didn't like f6. So this endgame is still winning for white. It's 2.2, which is quite significant for just one pawn down. And then after that, it's 3.8, so even more significant. And yeah, we sort of knew this was lost. This is now 4.3, which is crazy. Yeah, and that's just it's a bit of a zugzwang there. And if you don't know what a zugzwang is, basically it means there's no good moves. You run out of moves and you have to play a move, so you have to play a bad move. And we need this knight here to cover that. We need this pawn here to cover that, and we need the king here to cover that. So all we have are these pawn moves. If we push this, we lose that. If we push that, we lose this. If we push this, they can push that, and then it was the same situation, but if we push this again, it gets taken. So we're out of moves. So we have to go knight back, and then the connect passes. I mean, they'll win against almost everything, basically. Especially with the king so active as well. There is very much nothing we can do. And we're just waiting to get mated, basically. And that happened pretty sharpish. So yeah, that's that, unfortunately. Let's do some opening stuff real quick. And just have a little think about what we could have done. I think the bishop d7 is a pretty vital move we need to remember, because this is almost mainline. I don't think it's called mainline, but it's practically mainline. Yeah, so we'll look at bishop to e7 and just play through this a bit. I don't know if chess.com has opening. Explore. There we go. So bishop to e7. This is pretty even in terms of stats. I'm not sure what these stats are based on. Oh, this is Master Games, actually. So this is 25% win for white, 45% draw, and 29% win for black. So it's actually slightly better for black, even though the computer doesn't agree. So after bishop to e7, b3 is the move, apparently, which we sort of knew, followed by a prompt castle by black, which I guess is the other point of getting the bishop to e7, is to be able to castle. And then you have bishop f6 as an option as well. Bishop b2, pretty obvious there. And then knight takes f3, which is a strange one. But you know, after like 10 moves of theory, you're sort of running low a bit. This is a game from Konstantin someone and Moritz someone. The last names are a bit too long for the thing, but we'll just have a look at this one. So this follows the game with bishop to e7, and after takes there, I guess you just hang on to this, and it's a bit of a thorn in white's side. Oh, sorry, and you can't really deal with it that well. And apparently you just give up that, because if queen takes, you can take this one back, and the queen there is pretty annoying, I guess, which is what happens. And yeah, this is what was the result of this game? This was a win for white. Is there a win for black anywhere? Is there a win for black anywhere? There we go. This is Joseph Girl versus Renato Terry. 2700 versus 2900. There we go. Yeah. Takes there. Oh, and that wanted rook there instead, so that's covering this pawn again, and you're threatening that, which is quite nice. Yeah. And yeah, pretty standard stuff. And you do end up giving the b pawn back as well, which is interesting, because I guess you're hitting this one. Then after the rook there, you're hitting that one as well, so they can't actually push that to free it up, which is really cool, actually. And yeah, I can see how black has the advantage here, even though white is up a pawn. You know, black's just like he's quite cool, because white sort of seems more active, but because of the activity of the black king, they're actually not threatening to take anything, and white's actually the one who's very quick to gobble up these pawns. And we lost the game anyway, but yeah, that was quite cool. I think maybe we should look at master games more often, as part of the regular analysis, because that's very informative, actually. But yeah, first video back. Obviously, need to get back into it a bit. It wasn't the best result. But to be fair, new opening. We got the general idea right. We just missed this bishop e7 move. And what we can see from the Masters games, the game sort of sorts itself out from that point. So we've got the majority of the theory down. And we're definitely not going to forget that move again, which is cool. But yeah, I'm hopeful about this opening. I'm very hopeful, because it's from what I know about Queen's Gambit players, is that they very much like the structure of the Queen's Gambit, and it sort of breaks them up from that, and it definitely puts the demand on them to prove that their pawn is better. So yeah, I think we're gonna stick with that for a while. I actually played it in a classical game as well, which I lost, but you know, sometimes you lose. Anyway, first game back, first video back. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all had a very, very Merry Christmas. Back to regular uploads now as well, so look forward to that. I've got a few top tip videos coming up soon. I just need the time and the motivation to record them. So yeah, keep a lookout for them. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked, and I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye bye.